Namaste. This is the second part I'm making in the series Understanding Your Core. Our real essence lies beneath layers of ignorance. We are trying to understand what our real essence is. Our personality gets developed over many lifetimes. In today's video, I'll be talking about how our personality starts taking shape over many lifetimes and how we can use a psycho-spiritual tool called Enneagram for spiritual healing and growth. This is the second part I'm making in this series on understanding your core. In case you have not watched the first part, I'll post the link to that part in the description box below. Please watch that before you watch this. In my earlier videos, I spoke about how a human being evolves from an animal. The highest chakra in an animal is the Muladhara chakra, which is the lowest chakra for a human being. When this chakra opens in an animal, the next lifetime is a human incarnation. Though the animal is born as a human, initially this new soul, it has no karma. It only has a little of ancestral karma and societal karma, but apart from that, most of its karma is blank. But because it is a new soul and all its past lives have been an animal life, it still carries a lot of animal instincts within its soul programming. For example, a new soul will be very territorial. They can fight over food. They can fight for a mate. They can fight for territory. All these animal instincts or animal traits are very clearly visible in this person, and that makes this person highly competitive to the extent that he does not care for another person's interests or their life or their well-being. This new soul is totally cut off from his inner divinity. He has no idea that he has many bodies. He has no idea that there's a subtle system. He only thinks that the physical body is the real body and the external physical reality is the only reality. So he makes no attempts to go within, to take on a spiritual practice, and he's not searching for any truths in life. Now the question arises, if this new soul has no karma, then why is it that this new soul is not able to experience the divine connection? Because we are told in spiritual circles that what blocks our nadis is our past karma, our beliefs, our behaviors, attitudes, the way we think. They all block our nadis. And because of these blockages, the pranic force does not flow properly within our system, and hence we are disconnected from our inner divinity. Now, this is a new soul. The new soul hardly has any own karma. A little of the ancestral karma and the societal karma is there, but that is very little. The most baggage a person carries is his personal karma, and that is not there here. So, what is stopping this person from getting in touch with his inner divinity? To explain this, you have to understand this concept. You can see the Jivatma written on the top. The Jivatma is the divine consciousness which exists in each one of us, which is a part of the universal consciousness. This is the inner witness, the self. This self does not participate in our everyday or every lifetime activity. It just sits and it witnesses and watches us experiencing life over many lifetimes. I have written the word Jiva here. The Jiva, what I mean by it is the collective experience of many lifetimes. The record of our many lifetimes is there in our causal body. Every incarnation we take on some karma. when we do some good deeds or bad deeds. A new soul does not have any karma. But when this soul is born over and over again, it does certain actions which will benefit him or herself. While doing good, it takes on good karma. While it is doing bad, it is taking on bad karma. So that way, the soul starts developing karma. And over many lifetimes, it takes on a lot of karma and many beliefs, many behaviors of many past lifetimes, the vasanas, the samskaras, everything is taken on by the soul. And the record of all these things is there with the jiva. So every time a person is born, he lives his life, he dies, he goes to the level of the jiva. Again, he reincarnates the next lifetime. Again, he dies. Again, with that record, he goes back to the jiva. Again, he takes part of his karma, which is called the prarabdha karma. That is taken and he is born again. But the collective record of all karmas, which is the sanchita karma, is there with the jiva. You only take a part of that karma and are born in this lifetime. You live this lifetime, again you go back. So this cycle of life and death goes on. When this is happening, initially the jiva is just gaining life experiences. Here you can see that there's a seat of the soul. The seat of the soul is the Agya Chakra here. And because it's called a seat of the soul, I've kept this seat empty here because this jiva is not spiritually developed enough to be able to sit in that chair. So the jiva has to gain a level of authenticity to be able to sit in that chair. So what happens here is, over many lifetimes, our personality starts getting created depending upon our life experiences, depending upon our karma, our samskaras, vasanas. They shape our personality. As we take on more incarnations and as we start refining our personality, that personality becomes our bridge to the seat of the soul. Now, once you move in a particular direction, there are many different types of personalities. When a personality starts shaping over many lifetimes, we get good at refining our personality. So now your personality is fixed. Even in the future lifetimes, you will be born that same personality type. And what you do there is, you are trying to refine your personality further. When I use the word personality here, personality is a collection of good and bad, or it is a collection of tamasic qualities, rajasic qualities, and sattvic qualities. A collection of all bad qualities is not a personality. So it is a mixed bag. The soul has reached a level where now the person has a bag of some sattvic qualities, some rajasic qualities, and some tamasic qualities. And when I say refining your personality, I mean that most of the tamasic qualities that are there now in the personality are slowly getting converted into higher level sattvic qualities. For example, a selfish attitude is a tamasic quality. But over lifetimes, when the personality starts refining, this selfish attitude gets transmuted into a selfless attitude. At a person who is selfless and is happy serving others. So whatever your tamasic qualities may be at the current level, they get transmuted to an equally sattvic quality at a higher level. So that is how the personality gets shaped over many lifetimes. And when the person comes to the last incarnation, he has more of sattvic qualities. And this transmutation which happens within us, where we are transmuting the lower egoic qualities into a higher sattvic state, that is the bridge of personality. In the picture here, you can see that I've put a bridge from the jiva to the seat of the soul. That is, by the time you are working from the causal level, your karmic baggage has been burnt up by Kundalini. Because you come out of your lower egoic uh, behaviors and traits. Now, your personality is refined enough, and this personality becomes a bridge to the seat of the soul. The seat of the soul, that is the refined end product, that is the work of many lifetimes, which is so refined that it expresses the sattvic qualities of the divine. The divinity it expresses through human beings, through various qualities. Qualities like peace, universal love, selfless action, beauty, grace, equality, art, creativity, just being there in the present moment, shining like bright light. There are many different divine qualities or sattvic qualities. And these become a part of that being at the level of the seat of the soul. So this person has spent many lifetimes refining one aspect of the sattvic quality, predominantly one aspect. The other aspects are also there, but one or two aspects are refined over many lifetimes. So this personality which we create over many lifetimes is the bridge to the seat of the soul. It is only when we reach the seat of the soul that we are closer to the Jivatma. The further ascension of this person into the higher chakras will fill him with divine qualities. The Kundalini Shakti will be in the Agya chakra by the time the person has refined the sattvic quality within himself, and hereafter he will function in the external world from this quality alone. And while he is functioning from this quality alone, he does not take on any karma. So by this stage, this person has no past karma. He has come out of all those different lifetimes, nearly out of it. Just above Agya Chakra, you have the Makara point. Once Kundalini enters into the Makara point, you are out of the cycle of life and death. So this person has nearly come to the end of his incarnations, and now he has learned to express one particular, or maybe two or three beautiful traits or beautiful sattvic qualities of the divine. And these qualities, they become a boon for the external world. And the remaining lifetime, he only lives from that level of consciousness. Therefore, a new soul cannot gain access to the seat of the soul, even though his nadis are clean and clear. He has to gain many lifetimes of experience where he comes out of his animalistic behavior. He transmits all his lower animalistic traits to higher sattvic states. While this process is happening, he takes on karma, he lives through many lifetimes, he gets caught up in the cycles of life and death, and at the last, when he has refined his personality, his karma gets burnt up, he comes out of the cycles of life and death, and now he has earned the eligibility to sit at the seat of the soul, because now he only expresses the sattvic qualities that are there in the universe. All animalistic instincts or all animalistic traits have been removed from him. The top picture here represents what I just said, that a personality gets shaped over many lifetimes. And when our personality is getting shaped and refined, we are moving from the lower animalistic behavior. The soul evolves and reaches a very high state of being, an ascended being. In the first few incarnations that a person is born as a human, he still carries the memories of himself when he was an animal, and he still thinks from those memories. He lives those memories, but a little differently. He is unaware that he carries those memories from his previous animal births. Let us take the example of a deer. A deer is food for many predators like the lion, tiger, panther. cheetah, the wild dogs, wolves. Man too kills them. Crocodiles. The deer is always looking out for its safety. It is always frightened. It has this fear of losing its life. It has this fear of danger. It has no idea what animal will pounce on it from behind a bush. So it's always looking around, always frightened. Now imagine if this deer becomes a human in the next incarnation. What will be the mindset of this person? He will be always frightened. Even if he is living in midst of loving people, even if he is in a very safe environment, he will still be worried about somebody coming and killing him. He'll have this high survival fear. And he gets this fear from his past lifetimes as a deer. When this person's personality is getting shaped for the future, because he's a new soul, he has no karma, but now he'll start taking on karma. He'll get caught up in the cycle of karma. How he reacts to the external world. We have the fight and flight mechanism in our body. It gets triggered whenever we feel unsafe. So this fight and flight mechanism, it has a major impact on how our personality gets shaped. There are other factors too, but this plays a major role. A person might fight in a dangerous situation, or he might take a flight, that is run away. He might freeze in the situation, or he might try to adapt in a situation. So there are many different ways in how we cope to danger or how we cope to external stress. So all these reactions which we take on, they start changing and shaping our personality. We take on new ideas, new behaviors. These ideas, these beliefs, these behavioral traits, they become steps in the direction towards shaping our personality in a particular way. Over many lifetimes, we start developing a personality. For example, say there are four sons born in a family where both the parents are narcissistic, abusive people. I've made videos on narcissistic parents. In case you have not watched those, I'll post the link in the description box below. Please watch them. The four children or the four sons, they have developed ways to cope with their parents' narcissistic attitude. Because of getting abused and because the child is helpless, he cannot even run away from the situation. They take on certain beliefs, certain ideas based on their experiences. Ideas like, I cannot trust anybody, or nobody loves me, I am not important, I should not talk out, if I express myself, I'll get punished, or I need to grow up quickly. Or it could be that when they have pampering parents, they might feel that I don't want to grow up at all. I don't deserve to live. I'm not worthy. My parents don't love me. That means I'm not good enough. I hate myself. I feel guilty. I'm responsible for my parents' anger. I will be ridiculed. I'm not lucky. Or, the person might feel so helpless that he may face an existential crisis at a very early age in his life. He may not understand why he is living in the first place. And all these ideas, they become beliefs over a period of time. And these beliefs, they get transformed into attitudes and behaviors. When the person grows up, he takes on many different types of behaviors. For example, if one son rebelled when his parents were trying to punish him, when he grows up, he has his rebellious attitudes towards many people in his adult life, because he has used that as a coping mechanism during stressful situations. If the second son used flight as a mechanism of coping with the parents' abuse, then when he grows up, he will try to run away from problems. He will try to run away from stressful situations. He would not want to take responsibility. He will fear anything that is challenging him. He cannot see or face his own limitations. The third son may have adapted to the situation, but he's still under stress. So when he gets older, he will not be able to move out of bad relationships quickly. He might try to suppress his needs, he might try to suppress his feelings, and he may express a lot of happiness in life. He's not able to look at his inner dark side where there's a lot of pain to process. Instead, he tries to live life from the surface. The fourth son may copy his parents. He may turn into a narcissistic himself. He will use manipulation. He will try to control others' lives. He is abusive towards his own wife and children and those who are dependent on him. Many of the childhood experiences, they shape how we think and how we see life. Our ideas about life, love, joy, happiness, most of it comes from a childhood. If in one lifetime we have so much of baggage, imagine how much of baggage we are carrying from other lifetimes. The emotions, the pain, the dysfunctional beliefs and ideas which are there within our system, which are not yet processed, are part of a subconscious mind. Our experiences, the learning from the experiences, everything gets processed and it is stored as part of a subconscious mind. That is why when we are born in a next lifetime, we do not remember our past lifetimes. But the pain that is there, that is repressed, the anger that is repressed in the subconscious mind, still has an effect on this person in this lifetime. Man has a lot of energy. And where does he invest all his energy? He invests his energy into certain ideas, thoughts, beliefs, attitudes. So, whenever he is subscribing to an idea, he is tying a part of his energy into that idea. Whenever he is adopting a behavior, he is tying a part of his inner energy into maintaining that behavior. Whenever he's trying to create an image, for example, when a person who is not happy with his life tries to create an image for the external world that he is very happy, very rich, he is the most successful person, and then he's expending all his energy in trying to create this image and maintaining that image all his life. So what is happening here is we are already taking a lot of ignorance from or lot of emotional baggage from the last few lifetimes. Added to that, now we have the new experiences, traumatic or good or bad or mixed experiences of this lifetime. You're adding it on to your past experiences. And apart from that, we're trying to create an image for the external world. So all these layers of identifications with what is happening in your life, with your body, with your beliefs, with your attitudes, your ideas, it is taking away a lot of your inner energy. Now your system has become high maintenance because whatever energy is there, it is consciously you are trying to create an image based on your experiences in this lifetime, and unconsciously you are carrying a lot of emotional baggage or suppressed emotions from past lifetimes or karma from past lifetimes. Even they are taking away your energy. So by the end of the day, the person's energy is drained out. All that energy is going into maintaining these layers of ignorance. It is going into maintaining this unnecessary drama in our life. It is going into maintaining this tamasic qualities. The external world is illusionary, the Maya. When a person thinks that this body is real, that the external reality is the only reality, he is expending all his energy in maintaining this image for the external reality. When we use discretion and start questioning our life, our beliefs, our ideas, our behaviors, when we search for truth, and then we realize that the ideas which we hold or the behaviors which we hold are not the truth, the only truth. We distance ourselves from these ideas, the unnecessary drama in life. The energy you have spent in keeping that drama alive or in keeping your belief alive, you have spent part of your energy in that belief by tying up that belief to yourself. Now, by distancing yourself from that belief, you're untying the knot. The energy that gets released now moves in your subtle system. It helps you to cleanse your nadis. And the more knots you untie, all this energy starts moving up your spine. And it helps you to evolve spiritually. Identification with the body and mind is what is the root of all sufferings. When we start identifying consciously with experiences of this lifetime and unconsciously the baggage that we carry from past lifetimes, you have a recipe for disaster there. That is, you have now survival fears, you have these ideas about love, giving love, taking love, the method of how you process your anger, your pain, how much of it are you aware of? Do you live your life accepting it or rejecting it? Your control issues, your trust issues, your self worth issues, whether you accept yourself or not, or existential crisis, all these things. If you go down to the root of all these things, you will see that there is one big message there, that is, I am a victim. Whenever you tell yourself that you are a victim, you feel anger, you feel grudge, you feel resentment, you feel pain, you feel envy. This one message, I am the victim, is what keeps the person in the lower egoic state, because all the negative emotions that a person experiences in his life, the source for all those negative experiences is this one message that your subconscious mind or your conscious mind is giving you, that is, I am a victim. As long as you are believing in this one message, you have to keep your beliefs intact, you have to keep your personality intact, you have to keep your ideas intact, you have to keep your behaviors intact, and then you have to keep justifying your behaviors because you believe that this message, I am the victim, is true. The moment you remove this message and you tell yourself, I am not the victim, I never was, then there is no reason to get angry. You are in acceptance of what is happening outside. You've accepted your past. You're in acceptance of your present. This one message where you keep telling yourself that I am not the victim, I never was. When you do this, what happens is suddenly there's a shift in your personality. This one message, I am not a victim, I never was, it allows you to override your personal stories. It'll allow you to override your beliefs, your behaviors. It'll override your lower egoic states, and it'll align you into moving into a more spiritual mindset, a mindset which is beneficial for your own growth and for the growth of people around you. Otherwise, this message will keep you in the lower egoic states. This message will keep you in your fears, in your pain. And when you're watching the world through the lens of pain, trauma, fear, it is like looking at the big world through a small peephole. The view is very small, and based on the small outlook we have towards life, and the heavy amount of unprocessed pain, trauma, suffering, fear, desires, the karmic baggage we hold, we cannot really see the truth of life. We cannot see life for what it is. Rather, we watch life from the limited mindset. We understand very little of it. We cannot see the play of divinity in our life or in the external reality. It is only when you open the door, you come out of your fears, you come out of the pain, you come out, step out of the door, and you look up into the sky, you see the vast sky, big, beautiful sky above your head. And you can see how beautiful the world is. To be able to see this, you have to first rise above your fears, your suffering, your pain, your desires. That is, you have to come out of the lower three chakras and rise up into the higher chakras. A normal person is caught up in the loop of drama that happens where there's one perpetrator whose only motive is to trouble somebody else, and the person who's getting troubled is the victim. Now, the victim experiences the anger, that is, I am the victim, and now because he is the victim, he hates the perpetrator, he holds grudge, resentment against the perpetrator, he wants to teach the perpetrator a lesson. So now the victim becomes a perpetrator, the perpetrator becomes a victim. So this drama goes on between the perpetrator and the victim. And then there's this rescuer dynamic. The person who's either on the perpetrator's side or the victim side, or maybe he is somebody who's just standing and watching the whole drama, who gets involved into the drama. Now, a fight between two people becomes a fight between three people. So now all of these people are experiencing all the negative emotions, which are of the lower three chakras. And when they are continuously caught up in these kinds of loops, nobody is able to see the truth, nobody is able to see the wisdom, then nobody is able to understand that all these things are unnecessary, and all these things are coming because everybody is seeing themselves as a victim, or because they see somebody else as a victim. When we are looking at world from this limited point of view, you get caught up in the dramas of life, the stories, personal stories that we tell others or others tell us. As long as we tell ourselves stories, as long as we believe other stories as the only reality, we are caught up in the lower egoic states. We have to override the lower egoic centers. The message that worked wonders with me is I am not a victim. This is what I personally used in my journey. Whenever I got triggered or whenever I was in pain or anger, my constant mantra was I am not the victim, I never was. And when I constantly started chanting this, after a while the anger would subside. Your subconscious mind cannot differentiate between a real threat and a threat that is imagined by your mind. So, whenever you are thinking of painful situations, you are recreating that situation in your mind, the subconscious mind is thinking that it is your current reality, and it is producing those kinds of hormones in your body, those kinds of emotions in your body, so that you can cope with that situation. So, you're unnecessarily triggering away the fight and flight mechanism in your body. When you use this message, I am not the victim, as a mantra, you are generating a distance between you and your personal story. You develop detachment. And with detachment, you can see the truth. You can see that you're operating from a lower egoic state. That helps you to transform or transmute most of your lower emotions to higher emotions. When this happens, the energy that was unnecessarily used up by these uh, ideas or beliefs get released. You can start feeling your pranic sheath or the pranamaya kosha, because the energy is now going inwards to cleanse away your nadis so that you can spiritually evolve. By this stage, that person's personality is also taking shape. The person is moving more towards a sattvic nature. Whatever direction the personality might have moved, because you have many different types of personalities. Not everybody's personality is the same. So when the soul evolves, it starts refining the personality and moving in a particular direction. It takes on more sattvic qualities that are associated with that particular direction. When the Kundalini is moving up your spine, I'm talking about Kundalini Shakti, there is a point here called Manasthana. By the time the person's Kundalini Shakti has reached Manasthana, the person has high discretion. He is come out of his karmic baggage. He is moving into imbibing those core sattvic qualities more now. He's developed a distance from his personal stories and other stories. He's developed a detachment from life. He is involved in life, but he is using his discretion now. Once Kundalini reaches this point of Manasthana, he is able to see the contents of his mind even better. He understands himself better. He is able to see how he acted in certain situations and how wrong it was. He is able to see how he got caught up in behavioral loops and what dysfunctional ideas he held in his mind. So here now, very easily he'll clear away all those remaining dysfunctional ideas and beliefs. Now this Manasthana is connected to Manas Padma, which is on the right side of your heart. Manas Padma has 8 petals. Petals are of different colors, and these petals, they represent various qualities. That is, the qualities like tamasic quality, rajasic quality, and sattvic quality. So each petal, it represents certain quality, and some petals are combinations of 2 qualities. That is, tamasic rajasic combination is 1 petal. So in all these petals, which are of different colors, you have predominantly 1 quality or combination qualities. But the 2 white petals which you see here are sattvic qualities. At any given time in a person, only 2 petals are active. When the person is in a tamasic state, the tamasic petals will be active and he'll have a limited view of life. When the personality starts getting formed, then the other petals start activating. Now he moves away from the tamasic to a combination of tamasic and rajasic. Then when the personality starts getting refined even further and is coming into the last incarnations, the sattvic petals start developing. The objective is to develop the 2 white petals, which are totally sattvic in nature. So by the time the Kundalini Shakti reaches the Agya Chakra, these 2 white petals will be active and the remaining 6 petals will be inactive. When a person is in total sattvic nature, I like to use the example of sugarcane here. You take a sugarcane, you crush it, you beat it, you pound it, you bite it, you do whatever you want to do with it. It will only give you sweet juice because that is its innate quality. It will not give you a bitter juice or a spicy juice. It will not give you unkindness in return to your cruelty because it is very sattvic, it is sweet. In the same way, a yogi who reaches the Agya Chakra or the seat of the soul is totally sattvic. This person will only respond with love even when the person or the situation is unfavorable to this person, because now his idea about life does not come from a limited view. He is risen above his fears, his anxieties, his pain, his personal stories. He's come out of all those things, and now he only expresses one of these beautiful qualities or the sattvic qualities that are there in the universe. And no matter whatever stressful situation the person might face, the fight and flight mechanism will not trigger off in this person like how it triggers in a normal person. So it has no effect on this person. He is now full of wisdom. and he only expresses love even in return for hatred. As a person's personality is taking shape over many lifetimes, his desires, his motivation to do something, the trigger points, how he reacts to an external environment, all these things are different in different personalities. So the ego plays each personality differently. Not just the ego, even the Maya. The Maya, if you can call it as a programming that is there on earth, it knows your personality type because it is seeing through many lifetimes. All the memories of your past lifetimes are hidden away from you in your subconscious mind. You cannot see them, but the Maya can see it. So the Maya knows how to play you around. You are in the grip of the Maya or the game programmer. When you start moving to a particular direction and start developing more and more sattvic qualities in that direction, Maya is still playing around, trying to keep you in lower egoic states. Because once you move into higher levels or like higher chakras, you're going beyond the hold of the Maya. So the Maya will try to keep you in its hold. It is a challenge that everybody has to overcome when they are ascending spiritually. So the Maya has the advantage of knowing you from many lifetimes, whereas you have forgotten your past lifetimes. Once you understand how your personality operates, even before your Kundalini Shakti reaches your Agya Chakra, you are better equipped to deal with your ego and the Maya. I can vouch by my experiences and others' experiences that Enneagram works. Had I found this psychospiritual tool when I was undergoing my ascension journey, it would have cut short my pain or my problem period by about 1.5, 2 years. I would have understood myself much better. I would have understood how my ego was playing me. I would have understood how the Maya plays me. I gained all this knowledge when my Kundalini Shakti reached Manasthana. But then you have a wonderful tool like Enneagram, which you can use as an essential tool, and it is really helpful. Enneagram is a very old spiritual tool, maybe over 2000, 3000 years old. It was forgotten, but this was kept safe with certain Sufi saints. Now, this is popular in the West, but as a psychological tool. The Enneagram is a psycho spiritual tool. It has a purpose. It has a purpose of telling a person how he can refine his personality so that he can reach the peak of the personality type. You can see 9 peaks here for 9 different personalities. At the peak of every personality type is a saint. So, whatever direction you might take in your ascension journey, you could be shaped into becoming type 6 or you could be shaped into becoming type 2. At the end or the tip of that personality is a saint. So not all enlightened beings are the same. Not all saints are of the same type in nature. Each of the enlightened beings, they display a lot of sattvic qualities, but they predominantly display one or two sattvic qualities more than the other sattvic qualities. For example, a saint could be displaying more of universal love, a selfless attitude. Another saint could be expressing his gratitude to God, or he could be bringing forth the beautiful creative energy of God. Another saint could be just filled with the light and glory of God. So all these saints are different. They are expressing a different sattvic quality that is there in the nature. These 9 types, they are further divided into 3 types. That is, from 2 to 4, these people are the emotional or the heart-based people. And during an ascension journey, these are the ones who have a lot of emotional baggage to clear. Then the type from 5 to 7, they are the head or the mostly the thinking type. And generally, these are the ones who suffer with a lot of thinking problem, excessive thoughts. They have to overcome that during their ascension journey. And 8 to 1, these are the people who live by their instincts. The underlying emotion is anger. So you have three types here. Now I'll explain each type to you at the lower egoic state to the highest sattvic state. When the person reaches that state, what does he express? As I said, personality is a mixed bag. You have some tamasic qualities, some rajasic qualities, and some sattvic qualities. If you take a narcissist, and if you ask me what type does a narcissist belong to, a narcissist has all the tamasic qualities of all the 9 personality traits. They will not allow others to grow. They are only there to devalue others. They will not help others. They have no love for others. Even if they give something, there is some string attached to what they give. They always want to be the center of attraction. Everything is about them. They are not very creative or original with creative ideas. They do not glow with love or beauty or grace of God. They put themselves at risk, that is, they take very high risks, they're negligent, and they put even others' lives at risk. They do not take responsibility. They are into a lot of addictions. They can cheat others easily. They want to control and abuse others. And they don't want the other person to live in peace. And they lack authenticity. So if you look at the Enneagram, you will see these tamasic traits spread across all the 9 personality types. So when I'm talking about a narcissist, this is a new soul. And this new soul has not yet taken on any type of a direction in the personality development. So over many lifetimes, the narcissist will slowly move into one particular direction where now he has the tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic qualities of that particular personality, and he'll move into that direction and develop in that direction. If you're a twin flame, then the chances of your twin flame being the same personality type as you is much higher. In the first personality type here, the reformer, the ego operates in the form of resentment. During the phase where the personality is getting shaped, he reaches a stage where now he is totally at peace. He is non judgmental and he is totally non violent towards another creature. He becomes a saint. He becomes an embodiment of perfection. The second type, here the ego resides in the form of pride. That is, they think that they are doing things for others. When they become saints, they express universal love and they're very selfless in their action towards others. The number 3 type, the achiever. Ego here operates in the form of vanity. When they become spiritual, they understand that there are certain universal laws that are at play and they are not doing things, rather, things are happening through them. And they live their life expressing the divinity through them. Type 4, the individualistic or the tragic romantic. Ego in them operates in the form of sadness or melancholy. When they reach the pinnacle of the spiritual journey, they learn to take life with equanimity. They have gratitude and they learn to appreciate the life as it is. The fifth type, the thinker or the observer. Ego here operates in the form of being more intelligent or logical than others. When they become spiritual, they become detached, or they have this sense of non attachment. They're directly connected to a universal source, and they are having this natural movement of that information into their life, and they experience life energy flowing through their body freely in the form of thoughts, in the form of new ideas, new ways of expressing. So many of these people who are from five, generally, they have a lot of scientific ideas also coming into their heads. Type 6, the loyalist or the questioner. The ego here is in the form of cowardice. They have a lot of fear. And when they transform, they transmute all this fear into their courage. They learn to trust themselves and others in the universe. And they understand that nothing can destroy them or hurt them. So they give away their fears. That is the best version of this personality type. Type 7, the enthusiast or epicure. Here, the ego operates in the form of needing constant stimulation. So they're always planning for the next stimulation. And many of them have addictions too. They lack focus. So when they get transformed, they're able to embrace life and they have total concentration and they're able to live in the present moment. They have sobered. Now they do not need constant stimulation in life. Number 8, leader challenger. Ego here plays in the form of revenge. They like to control people. Many of them even go to the extent of abusing people. Once they transmute this need to control and take revenge or hurt others, they become as innocent as a baby. They express the innocence as their sattvic quality. They give up all motives, all agendas, all prejudices, all power games that they played earlier. They fall away from their life and they become as innocent as a baby. Type 9, that is the peacemaker mediator. Here, ego operates in the form of laziness or stinginess, but once they transform, they're all about taking the right action. They're very honest and they live by the truth. I'm posting a link to an Enneagram test, which is free, in the description box below. Please take the test and try to understand your personality type and do some research on it until the next episode, where I'll talk about each personality type and how the Maya and ego plays them and keeps them trapped in the cycles of life and death. The Enneagram test will not work if you are not self-aware. That is, if you do not know how you will respond to a certain situation or how you think, then the test may not give you the right result. Or if you're still a new soul and your personality has not still taken that direction, that is when every time you take an Enneagram test, you will get different results because the personality has not yet taken shape. Or if you do not read the questions properly or understand them properly, then the results will be wrong. Otherwise, the Enneagram test results are right. I can vouch for it. I did some research and tried to understand the personalities of different types of spiritually evolved beings or enlightened beings. And I understood that type 2 to type 4, you have Mata Amritandamayi, Rumi, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They come within this type 2 to 4. They're more emotional. They express love. They are all about selfless service. Type 5 to type 7, they're more about knowledge, thinking. So here it is Da Vinci, Einstein, Ramana Maharshi. It comes in the form of knowledge here. The personality types 8 to 1, I could think of UG Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti, and Vivekananda Swami. So every saint has their own personality. Even after you reach a level of the Agya Chakra and you're operating from that level when you're working in the external world, when you're at the Agya Chakra level, you're in the world, but you're not bothered by the world. You've come out of the suffering of the world. It is like this lotus that is born in the muddy water, but it comes out of the muddy water and it blooms. So it is still in the muddy water, but it is not affected by the muddy water. That is the nature of an enlightened being. So all of these enlightened beings, they have different personalities. They express different qualities of the universe. When the Kundalini Shakti reaches your Agya Chakra, you are able to see through the games of Maya. Earlier, when your Kundalini was in the lower chakras, and if you had about three people coming into your life to trouble you or to fight with you, you would see each of them as a separate individual who's coming on a regular basis into your life to fight with you. You would see them as a person, the person had a name, he had a work, and maybe he was your neighbor, or maybe he was your colleague, or maybe your boss, maybe your spouse, or somebody whom you knew and you had to deal with on a regular basis. So you had this anger and resentment towards each of these people because they were making your life tough. But once your Kundalini Shakti reaches the Agya Chakra, you do not see these three people as three separate entities. Rather, you see a common thread between these three separate individuals. You will see them as the agents of Maya. The Maya knows how to trigger you. It knows all that material that is there in your subconscious mind. It knows you through many lifetimes and it knows how to play you around. Now, once your Kundalini Shakti has reached the Agya Chakra, you are able to see through the games of Maya. So, this time you will not deal with the three of them directly, neither will you pick up a fight with them. Rather, you'll speak to the programmer of the game. You will tell Maya, I know you sent these three people into my life to make my life miserable, but now I will not fall for your games. That is the major shift that will happen once your Kundalini Shakti reaches Agya Chakra. You are able to see the pitfalls, the ego traps that you fall into. Now you're more careful not to fall into ego traps. Your ego does not play you. And the Maya too, the main programmer, the Maya has been playing you around for many lifetimes, but now you can see through the Maya's games. You are a better player, but then you stop playing the game because you're no longer interested in it. This is your last incarnation and you want to give something to this world before you leave this. You thank Maya for the various experiences it has presented to you many lifetimes, and because of these experiences we have evolved through many lifetimes from somebody who was of animalistic in nature to somebody who has a lot of sattvic qualities or near divine qualities, or you can even call them as divine qualities. In my next video, I'll talk about each of these Enneagram types and how they can help themselves to move into higher chakras. Thank you.